Hey, hello out there, everyone. Welcome to the show. This is your captain speaking. Oh, Captain, my captain. We're going to get started here in just a minute, but I want to apologize for not posting a video last week. I've gotten fairly consistent about doing a weekly video on the weekend. Some of you know, some of you may not. My dad's been going through a lot. He's been really sick. It's been really scary and stressful. He's staying strong though. For everybody watching that has known, does know, thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your thoughts and keeping my family and my dad in your hearts and again your prayers. Whatever your thing is, thank you for doing that. Okay, guys. He's staying strong. I'm not gonna get into all that though. That's private family time stuff. But thank you guys, the ones that do know we're struggling. Thank you guys, and just a quick update. He is staying strong. He's gonna lick this. He's gonna lick this garbage, and boy, he's gonna be mad when he wakes up. But anyway, next order of business. It's not dark yet, not night yet, but it is getting close to dusk, and I'm wearing my sunglasses. I'm in the house. I know some of you are like, why are you always wearing sunglasses in there? Well, you know what? I'll tell you why. Because my future's so bright, I gotta wear shades. That's why. And I'm so cool that I wear my sunglasses at night. Never mind. You know what I'm talking about. I'm just that cool. So we're about to get on with the show, okay? Let's hit the intro, and then let's come back to it. See you in a minute, guys. Alright, so part 2, here we go again. I know I said I was gonna kind of stray from the cooking videos, but I also said when I got 100 subscribers, and I'm not there yet. But we will be, and when we get there, we'll separate this junk. But we're gonna go with a little cooking video, just a little. Not gonna show you step by step everything, but it's gonna be kind of a unique video, and I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, so yes, I can see myself height wise and stuff. So the why is this: we have a very tasty, delectable vegetable here called a spaghetti squash. Spaghetti squash is awesome. I like spaghetti squash. However, this particular spaghetti squash has really got a place in my heart. One of my nearest and dearest friends, excuse me, I get a little choked up. One of my nearest and dearest friends gave me this squash, and this was the last thing that he ever gave me before he went home from work that day. So, but I'll see him again tomorrow. Gotcha. So the challenge was, he's never heard of one. What do you do with one? I said, Bubba, I can tell you 1,000,001 things to do with one. We're gonna figure something out right now, and we're gonna make a little video of it, okay? So give me 1 second to grab a couple things, and we'll continue. Spaghetti squash. Ooh. One of the most important things to do with a spaghetti squash is to grab your Sharpie, and wherever you want to make your incision, forget about it and draw a cool face. Because you can do that, because you're not going to eat this part. You can put hey, you know what? I love my wife. E. And a cool face. Alright, so anyway, for real. What we're going to do is, we're going to get a roasting pan, and we're going to put about, I don't know, 1/4 inch of water, maybe a 1/2 inch of water, but not a roasting pan, like a cookie sheet. So we're going to get a cookie sheet, put about 1/4 to 1/2 inch of water in it. we're going to take our spaghetti squash, we're going to slice it lengthways. Can you see this squash? You can kind of see this squash. Let's tilt it down a little. All right. You're going to slice it open lengthways. You do need a sharp knife, and I should have sharpened it before I started, because what I always tell you, sharpen your knife before every use. Now, these are tough to cut, however. They're easier to cut the other way, but they roast better if you cut them this way. So we're going to half it, just like so. And we're going to take a spoon, we're going to seed it out. Then we're going to take our cookie sheet, put a little bit of water in it, drizzle a little olive oil and salt and pepper on the water. Then we're going to place these straight down like this. We're going to put it in the oven at 350 degrees. We got set at 350, 375. It's not beef or chicken, so you got some play there. I don't know, maybe 30 minutes. It's a small squash. If it's a bigger squash, maybe 45. This probably be good in about 30 minutes, but we'll check it in 30 minutes and we'll get back to you then. And we're gonna make something delicious and teach my dear friend how you eat a spaghetti squash. Normally, most people, you just put a little butter, salt, and pepper. When you're done, it's good. A lot of people use it as a substitute for spaghetti noodles. When we're done with that, you'll see why. And just make spaghetti with it. That's good too. Something like Alfredo with chicken, stuff like that. But we're going to make it with pretty simple stuff that you probably have laying around your house, except for one little ingredient I'm going to add. But anyway, when it's done, we'll get back to the show. See you in a minute. Okay, so we're going to give you what we're still waiting for this to cook. I do have it in the oven at 375. And I'm going to give you a little bit of an ingredients list real quick. As always, salt, pepper, olive oil, fresh garden tomato, roasted garlic, fresh grated Parmesan, some spring onion or green onion, and some of my homemade compound butter, which there's so many things you can put when you're making compound butter, but just take some good salted butter. And this has rosemary and thyme and garlic, and you knead it all together, and then you put it back in the butter wrapper or some wax paper, and you put it in the fridge for a day or two. Let all those flavors get together. And there is the one extra super secret special ingredient we'll show you at the end, but I'm thinking that's all I'm going to use. So how do you make a spaghetti squash and not make it as a side dish, but make it the main attraction of the meal with just the ingredients of spaghetti squash, tomato, a little Parmesan cheese, a little spring onion, a little garlic, a little butter, salt, pepper, olive oil. How are we going to make this the highlight of our meal? We'll see. See you in a minute. Okay, everybody, so continuation. Look at that tomato. So what I did was I took the tomato, I blanched it, got the skin off it. Now I cut it up into little pieces to stew it. Then I added some oregano. Love that oregano. Some roasted garlic, which you saw on that cutting board right there a few minutes ago. Oregano, roasted garlic. Salt and pepper, and we're letting that stuff simmer and simmer and simmer. We're going to let it, it's about done simmering. Then we're going to move it off. We're going to let it cool down a little bit so it thickens just a little. And then we'll continue some more. But just wanted you to see, look at that. Oh my goodness, that looks so good. I know how to make a spaghetti squash. See you in a minute, guys. All right, so we're about to take these spaghetti squashes out of our oven. There is our oven roasted spaghetti squashes. Set them right there on the counter. Yeah, you can see them. Alright, so we're going to get a fork. And here's what you're going to do. I don't know. I usually do this by hand, but these are hot because I just took them out of the oven. Notice I put salt and pepper in the spaghetti squash. Like I said, a little water, 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch. Roast in the oven, 30, 45. It's actually about 40 minutes. But watch this. Ah! That's too hot. Too hot. So we're gonna do it this way like a bowl because it's so hot. But just scrape that with a fork. Ah! Just scrape it like this with a fork. Man, that's so hot. So, I don't know if you could tell this in that video, but hey, there's a seed. I don't want no stinking seed. Let's move that seed over here. So this shreds up like noodles, and they're kind of like ramen noodles, I guess, but it shreds up into noodles. That's the cool thing about a spaghetti. That's kind of why they call it that, I guess. Now, if you cut them in half the other way, you will get long, round strands, which I probably should have done for this dish, but I didn't. So you don't have to scrape. If you don't want to, you can kind of come in like this. And then kind of scrape or gut it out that way. Oh, it's so hot. Kind of shred them a little bit. And like I said, they just shred right in the noodle. Now, if you cook it a little longer, like an hour, it will just peel off strand by strand like a noodle. But I like all of my vegetables to be a little al dente and not just soft. That's just a me thing. I prefer more of an al dente finish to all vegetables. You can kind of see here. God, it's so hot though. But you can see how it's noodling apart right there. See? So there we go, that's some noodles. And stay tuned, my friends, we'll be right back. So as promised, my friends, we are right back. We're going to take our plate. We're going to take some of this fantastic, delectable spaghetti squash. We're going to put it all in the middle of our plate. We're going to take about half that squash. We're going to save the other half for another dish later. All right, spaghetti squash. Compound butter. We're just going to take a small slice. We don't want too much butter because we got this delicious tomatoes, but a little bit of our compound butter. Let's put it on there. Let's put it in there. Take our fork. Let's get that butter melted in because this squash is still so hot. It's going to melt that butter quickly. Ah, look, there's another seed. Hey, a little salt and pepper. Roast them seeds just like pumpkin seeds, baby. They're good. But let's get our compound butter melted up into our squishes. Our spaghetti squishes. Now, I told you, I'm going to make spaghetti squash a meal instead of just a side vegetable. So, there we go. Compound butter. Done. Melted all through it. Now, let's add just another touch of salt. Quite a bit of pepper. As always, open that pepper grinder up. Get some nice big chunks. All right. Bam. Now, we're going to take our stewed up tomato with the garlic and oregano. Man, doesn't that not look delicious? Yes, it does. I know it does. You don't have to say it. Just pour that on your spaghetti squash. Pour it all around that outside too. You know why? Because why not? That's why. All right, phase 2 done. Take your spring onion or green onion, however you want to call it. Chop up the white as well as the green. Don't waste that beautiful, delicious, beautiful onion. Chop it all up, the white and the green. Sprinkle it all over the top, all around your plate. Take your fresh grated Parmesan cheese and sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. Okay, I know that sounds, never mind. Now our secret ingredient in the secret ingredient soup. I didn't tell you about these because, like I said, hey, that's a wonderful spaghetti squash with stuff that I promise you probably have in your fridge and or cabinet. Fresh steamed mussels. Steamed in water and garlic and nothing else. So we're going to take a couple and we're going to drop them. Just because we want it to look pretty, right? You always want it to look pretty. So drop you a couple of these mussels. Steam them suckers. They're wonderful. God, mussels are so good. So good. We got a few more here. Ooh, man, I cooked that one so much the shell broke. Drop you a couple mussels in there. So I don't know what that is. 8 mussels, I guess. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so just drop you some in there. Drop you a few in there. Sprinkle you a little more Parmesan and a few more spring onions. Then you're going to take a few more of your mussels, just for plating purposes. Open that shell up a little bit so you can see what's inside it. One of the beautiful things about a mussel, as well as an oyster, clam, is just seeing it. And line the outside of your plate with them. Just like so. Let's open that a little more. There we go. Yes, sir. Just a couple more. Like I said, hey, presentation goes a long way, right? If it whets your appetite, it's always a good thing. Almost done, guys. If I can get this last mussel, I didn't steam it enough. It's not opening. Oh no. Ow. There we go. That's a little bit of a baby mussel, but we got it. All right. So the next time someone hands you a spaghetti squash and say, what in the world is this and how do I cook it? Hey, like I said, it's a great side vegetable. All vegetables are. Put it in the oven, roast it, slice it, gut it out, roast it 30 to 45 minutes. Salt, pepper, a little garlic. That's all it really needs, butter. But if you want to make it the main dish, make spaghetti out of it. Make chicken Alfredo out of it. Or make something like this with ingredients you have in the fridge every day, except for the mussels. But look how beautiful that looks. And that is a spaghetti squash meal. We're going to check it out right now. Let's get a mussel and some tomato and some spring onion and spaghetti squash. Let's see. Oh, wow. First time I've made it this way. Now, I love all seafood with noodles. The spaghetti squash just gives it such an earthy flavor. Being a garden, yeah. So next time someone says this is some kind of weird thing called spaghetti squash, try something with it. It is worth it. I've eaten these things for years. I introduced my wife to them. She never had them. And well, when I did, she loved it. She immediately went to Google and made spaghetti out of it. But yeah, so hey, good old buddy of mine who this was the last thing that you ever gave me before you went home from work. That's how you make a spaghetti squash. That's one way to make it. That's my way of making a delectable spaghetti squash. Now, as promised, I'm going to take some of this to my buddy because I cannot put him on camera because he's so good looking that he would break the internet. So, hey, buddy, you know who you are. I'm not putting you on here so you don't break the internet, but there's a spaghetti squash just for you, my friend. See you next time, guys. Bye-bye. All right, just one last quick look in case I didn't get a good shot of it. There is the plate. That is how it looks when it is all finished, going the way that I just went. So again, fix it up, guys. Love you all. Thank you for the thoughts and prayers, and keep me and my family in your hearts, guys. Love you. Mwah. See you next time, guys. Bye-bye.